The bullet. It is a Tuesday afternoon when a huddled collective collection of young adults that are my fellow classmates are corralled like cattle ready for slaughter into a half-dimmed room. I'm shivering through my leather jacket zipped to the hollow of my neck in the ventricle of a building where the number of bodies with a stationary heart outnumber the bodies without when my eyes meet a boy about my age. His chest has caved into his spine. He is holding his head like he is trying to drown out the screams from a child that is not there. His struggle to keep this raging sea inside his frame is great, but it is quickly betraying him. His roar, a river, all fury and roar. I start to seek anyone who might have noticed the Civil War rearing itself out of denial. The stripper girl to my left retweeting a compliment she has received on an over-edited, yet still mediocre selfie. The girl to my right, who does not know she is pregnant yet, bitching about the girl to my left. The boy talks about his father who recently put a bullet through his head. The mortician tells him that the thing about repairing a body for burial is that the exit wound is always worse than the point of entry, and I stand there, dumbfounded. I can't tell if this is some kind of gnarled metaphor or simply a stranger's life unraveling like frayed noose in front of me. As I continue to listen, I soon learn this is not the first time his father has pulled a trigger. The father before him, a splattered and bloodied constellation. Words spill from his mouth like a glass he'd been waiting for someone else to tip over. This accident, this elephant that has never been allowed enough space to exist has been uncaged. No time for breath or coy. Spill. I know I'm a guest at a party that I wasn't invited to, but this boy is starting to feel less stranger and more stained glass, more best friend or brother than he is just boy with buzz cut. My eyes can't untangle themselves out of my new friend's shackles that hold hostage of his memory. And I am still the only one watching him unpack his trauma, unlace his human like boxing gloves, this making and reverse of a paper crane. But this is when the argument that still glows in my hand from the surface of my phone beckons back for me. The harsh words from a man who is not my boyfriend anymore, though I still continue to share a bed with a few times a week because he is still home for me, has decided to ditch me on my birthday to get some sleep in the bed that is half mine. The only thing I can think is his name. How it is a kickstart to my heart, his memory is firecracker in my closed palm. I think I know how these men must have felt in the moments before. How they must have closed their eyes as they wrapped their fingers around a loaded gun, how I slept with mine next to me, how ready and frail as we pulled our oblivions closer like a warm hug. Embraced it in our mouths, lips to lips, bullet to teeth, how in this room, like so many times before this exact moment, this boy's questions must have come like a flood. How my questions came strong and frantic and overflowing from my mouth, sounding like some kind of Morse code, said things like, "What happens when you die?" And when I say you, I do of course mean me, myself. What would happen if I drove my car straight into the hungry mouth of an 18-wheeler? If I decided to play chicken with someone who has a bigger machine than mine, will you wear that button-up I love on you to my funeral? The cerulean one, you know it's my favorite. And maybe this is why things like this happen. Maybe souls decide to leave this commission like slipping out the back door of a party because they cannot find a home in their minds. Why do some hearts never find enough suspension of space amongst the empty to find a place to exist in peace with their sadness? You see, sadness is a selfish disease. The way it demands all of you, all at once. It fits like a parka, the overgrowth that swallows everything whole. The message of love and death is the exact same. It's the ending to all insecurities. It unhinges and takes like a hungry pack of wolves. I am a bystander to this boy's crime scene, so I can't help but wonder what it must feel like to come from a repetition of Russian roulette, this linear descent of a chosen firing squad, but is that not a prayer? This yearn to take away the ache, the hollow, the empty. When you no longer bypass a gamble on yourself, who really is the winner? Does this mean if I forfeit enough of my fight that I will succeed in saving myself? If I wrote his name on a bullet, does that justify saying he was the last thing that ran through my mind? Slowly, this wood-paneled room begins to feel like a coffin. Nails, one by one, descend from the ceiling.